Good afternoon and welcome to Marcieviz Park here in Sligo. We have beautiful backdrop, beautiful weather, absolutely ideal conditions for this Tesco All-Ireland Minor C Camogie Championship final between Cavan and Mayo. This is it is likely to be a hotly contested game, very eagerly awaited tie. We've had 7 teams in this competition the whole way through, and it's fair to say Cavan and Mayo have been the dominant sides, both of them. Played out a very competitive game in Crosskeys earlier in the championship. Cavan edging that one by a single point, 2 goals and 7 to a goal and 9 points. So hopefully we're in for similar dramatics, similar close finish. Obviously Cavan and Mayo supporters tuning in, and welcome on board if you are. Cavan and Mayo supporters tuning in will be hoping for slightly more one-sided in their own team's favour, but from this neutral's perspective, close game would be great to see. Like I said, sun splitting the stones here. There's a little bit of a breeze blowing from left to right as you look on your camera screens. Nothing too extraordinary, nothing that you'd say would affect the team particularly. Maybe adding something like 5 to 10 yards at most to the puckouts coming from the left-hand goal. I'll take you through the teams, and we'll start with the Cavan side. Managed, of course, by Jimmy Greville, former Westmeath hurler. He also takes charge of the senior Cavan team, so he's in charge of this minor camogie side. And in goals we have Alana Clark. The full back line is Roisin Boyle and Roisin McDonnell in the 2 corners, the 2 Castletara players either side of Alana Tierney. The half back line on screen in front of you will show Aisling Sexton, joint captain, Maeve O'Reilly, left wing back, but there's a change at centre back. Number 6, Mia Hughes, drops out, and she's going to be replaced by number 16, Cara Riley of the Crosserlock Club. We'll obviously take you through the positional switches when we see them when they take the field. Midfield, Aisling Collins and Alana Brady. Strong possibility, I would say, one of those two might drop into centre back, with a more attacking player, Cara Riley, coming into midfield. The half-forward line is Aoife Connaughty, Emma Mulvaney and Aisling McEnroe, one of 2 dual players on this Cavan side. And then the full-forward line is where the scores will be, particularly Roisin Galligan at full-forward, Hannah Fitzsimons, the other joint captain, and Aisling Keenahan of Lara. She made an appearance last weekend for Cavan seniors or Cavan's junior team, when they took on Roscommon in the All-Ireland quarter-final. Little bit of a surprise there when Roscommon turned them over in that game, but injuries were a key factor for Cavan in that particular encounter. Left Jimmy a couple of players short, and that made all the difference when the 2 sides met. Now to take you through the Mayo side. A very, very young team, only 5 players over age for the under-16 bracket here. So very, very young side, coming strongly in Mayo, managed by Miriam Page, Gerard Doherty and Fergal Flanagan. So Roisin Linsky in goals. Cara Burke, Evine Crawley and Ava Delaney is the full back line, all drawn from the Nabridge Yoga Club. Emily Kelly, Aoife Doherty and Niamh Greeley is your half-back line. So 3 of those 6 defenders will be on duty for Mayo when they go out in the All-Ireland Junior Championship semi-final tomorrow afternoon. Midfield, Caoimhe Delaney and Saoirse Delaney. Now there's 4 Delaneys involved on the starting team. There are 2 sets of sisters, all cousins. Caoimhe and Saoirse are cousins. Caoimhe, sister of Ava in the back line. Saoirse, sister of Emer in the full forward line. Your half-forward line is Lillian Keane, Claire Flanagan and Fionnuala McLaughlin, both those wing forwards, both part of the Mayo minor football panel as well. And then up in the full forward line, and this is where the real threat will be posed, Emer Delaney, Emer Geraghty and Ruby Lambert. Emer Delaney and Emer Geraghty were racking up the scores throughout this championship. Now, as I said, the 2 teams have been very, very dominant in the championship so far. They were both drawn in the same group alongside Donegal and Tyrone. Tyrone, you'd have to say, were a little bit competitive against both sides, but were undone by goals. Donegal, however, Donegal had a good first outing against Cavan, but then struggled badly against Mayo. But it has to be said that Cavan and Mayo were comfortable in all their matches so far. Mayo, by virtue of losing out in that group game, then were second in the group, had a tougher semi-final. They just about edged Wicklow by 4 points at a Cavan venue, actually. Whereas a much more handy outing for Cavan against Louth in Kilnalek. But that win came at a cost for Mayo, as Jerry May Henry is suspended for this particular game. She obviously would have been a starter throughout a lot of their group games, and a relatively small panel has been hit with a further injury, and we won't see number 18 Kate Tenner at any stage this afternoon. She fractured her collarbone in training during the week. So we're continuing with the build-up here now. At the moment, referee Orla Donnelly is just waiting, letting the teams knock the ball around a little bit as they get familiar with the surface. I walked the pitch when I went out there. It's absolutely a credit to everyone involved, because as you can imagine, certainly no issues with water or anything like that. If anything, it's about keeping the pitch watered, but it's very, very green from one end of the pitch to the other. No bumpy areas, no dry spots or anything for players to worry about. Sometimes this time of year you can have particular areas of the pitch drying up, and what will end up happening then is you'll have a dodgy bounce. So what we're going to pause now for a moment for the rendition of Our On Naveen. So given that our location is directly underneath the speakers, you'll have got a full rendition there of Our On Naveen. I've often been amused before that, like any club official, I find myself in a situation needing to find Our On Naveen on YouTube before club matches when you'd be in the announcer box. For reasons that I'd love for someone to explain to me, one of the best renditions I've ever heard is by the Czech National Symphony Orchestra. I don't know why they do such a fine job on it, but it's the one I always go to for default. So if you've ever been in that situation in your local club announcer's box, feel free to get in touch and tell us which rendition of Our On Naveen you tend to go to. There's a country and western version they found in Tullamore, which I have to say I find absolutely abhorrent. But there you go. What can you do? Each to their own taste and all that. We're getting shaped up here now, and it looks like it's going to be Cavan that's going to play with the aid of the breeze in the first half. And I'm definitely looking at a couple of tactical switches on the Cavan side. I see that for a start we're looking at the centre-back position, and Aisling Sexton has dropped into centre-back. Actually, full-back Alana Tierney has come out for the throw-in at midfield. A couple of positional switches on the Mayo side as well. Sinead Livingston of Lara actually has come into the team as well. I see her lining out here in front of me as we're just underway here at Marcieviz Park. So I'll take it. I'll get you that extra team switch as soon as we get it. But straight away, it's first win of the game. Aisling Collins wins that ball. Tries to work the ball down along the line, trying to bring Sinead Livingston into the game. She manages to win a free as Caoimhe Delaney puts the pressure on from the tackle. So straight away, Hannah Fitzsimons comes back out the field. She obviously would be one of the strongest strikers of a ball in this team. Long delivery off the left-hand side. That's right down into the full forward position. Great catch by Aisling Keenahan. Aisling Keenahan gets the shot away on her knees, but unfortunately pulls it wide of the target. That's the first wide of the game, but it just shows you the threat Aisling Keenahan poses in there. Strong physical presence under the dropping ball, and she got up and made a wonderful catch there to win that. Mayo now pick up the puck out. Chance to drive forward. Lillian Keane with the long ball forward. That's gone in. She's looking for Emer Delaney in the corner forward position. Pressure coming on from Roisin Boyle. Emer Delaney with the shot, and Emer Delaney finds the target. So we've one attack each so far in this game. But Mayo on target with that Emer Delaney point. Cavan, on the other hand, with one wide. they've missed their opportunity. Puck out coming down, and they'll look to try and get their first score on the board. Puck out drops around the 45-metre line. Cavan fighting for it here with Maeve O'Reilly. Maeve O'Reilly, ball hits the deck. It's ruck ball, as they do say in modern game, but O'Reilly comes away with it, feeds that ball forward. She's looking for Roisin Galligan. Roisin Galligan under heavy pressure there from Aoife Doherty. Ball breaks out here on the sideline. Ball breaks out on the sideline. Well won by Claire Flanagan. Lovely turn of pace from Claire Flanagan. Rides through the tackle. Left, shoots off the left. But that shot drops a little bit short. She never really got the power behind it. Maybe just needed to take it into her hands again. Didn't realise how much time she had. But it was an excellent strike by the player. That's a good short puck out there. Well worked by Alana Clark. Feeds it out to Hannah Fitzsimons. Hannah Fitzsimons by the long, looking for the long clearance. But that's proper cornerback play from Cara Burke. Gets out in front, wins that ball. Well won at second attempt by Caoimhe Delaney. Now a chance for Emily Kelly to run at the goals. Lovely turn of foot from Kelly. Shoots off the right. Oh, that one's dropping a little bit short. Pressure. Emer Delaney looking to get in on top of it, but doesn't quite get there. And that's another wide, a second wide of the game for Mayo. 2 wides for Mayo, 1 for Cavan so far. But already we've seen how Mayo will look to attack this game. A couple of very good runs through the half back line. Emily Kelly and Claire Flanagan. Again, the puck out drops around the Cavan half back line. Well won there. Long ball forward. Looking for another one of the Cavan players. That was the player who was drafted in. Cara Riley was fighting for it there in the half back line, but didn't manage to win it. And now it's going to be a chance for Mayo to launch another attack. Aoife Doherty stands over this free. Fires it down, looking in the right corner. Emer Delaney getting out and trying to fight for it. Lovely turn by Delaney. Gets onto her left-hand side. Fires that ball in. It's going to drop short. It's going to be very, very dangerous. Emer Geraghty fighting for it. Pressure coming on by Ruby Lambert. Really good work by Roisin McDonald in the Cavan full back line. Trying to get that ball clear. Ball is on the deck now and the umpire's hand is raised. So I suspect we're coming out for a 45 here. Sure enough we are. And signal for a 45, maybe 10-15 metres to the right of the posts here. So centre back Aoife Doherty going to come forward to try and take this. Aoife Doherty is like we said, one of 3 players who'll be involved in Mayo's All-Ireland semi-final tomorrow afternoon at junior level. Hugely important game for Mayo against Clare there. We wait for the 45 to come in, going slightly into the breeze, but shouldn't really affect her too much. It's not particularly strong. Strikes off a stance, doesn't need to get any extra power behind it. That's a lovely strike in from Aoife Doherty. Really accurate, plenty of power there. Had another maybe 4 or 5 yards to carry if needs be. So that's through the posts, and it's 2-0 for Clare, or 2-0 for Mayo, I should say. Another chance coming in here. Long shot from out on the right wing by Fionnuala McLaughlin. But that one just drops to the left-hand side and wide. So far, Cavan just struggling to connect with their full forward line. Again with the low puck out here. Well won on this occasion by Aisling Sexton. Aisling Sexton, pressure coming on the puck though. Looks to try and get that out towards the sideline. Fighting for it here is Sinead Livingston. Just about manages to keep the ball in play. And I think she might have won the sideline cut here. It looks like it. No, it's actually going to be a Mayo sideline. So another chance for the Connacht County to try and work this ball into a scoring area and create another chance. 2 points to 0 in front so far. Just 5 minutes gone here at a blisteringly warm Marcieviz Park in Sligo. We've a little bit of cloud cover coming in from the right hand side, but definitely very warm conditions, going to test these players to the limit. High ball dropped in, well won there by Fionnuala McLaughlin. Fionnuala McLaughlin sprints clear, shoots off the right. Lovely strike by Fionnuala McLaughlin, great pace in it. That's her first score of the game. Fionnuala, younger sister of Mayo senior footballer Owen McLaughlin, so there's plenty of silverware coming into that house these days. And she had all the turn of foot of her brother there as she sprinted clear and fired that between the posts. That's a lovely long puck out on the Cavan side. That's what they probably need to do there, just relieve the pressure. Good long ball from Alana Clark, but it's Mayo who hoover it up. Long ball going up there. Fionnuala McLaughlin fighting for it again. Contesting it with her is Maeve O'Reilly. And again, the decision goes the way of... no, my apologies. The linesperson signalled that it was going to be a sideline cut to Mayo, but instead Cavan get the free out on the sideline, and it's going to be a chance here to fire this ball deep into the Mayo full back line. But that sideline cut doesn't really connect. So now suddenly we've a hotly contested ball out here on the left hand side of midfield from the Cavan goal. Ball being won there by Cara Riley, but can't get her strike away, and instead it's won by Lillian Keane. Again, can Keane get the ball clear? She doesn't need to get the ball clear. She's being fouled in possession. And this, again, is going to be a chance to hoist this sliotar up into the clouds. Or clouds if they did actually exist here, but they don't at the moment. But a chance to hoist that sliotar up in the sky and come down up in an attacking position for Mayo. Again, ball fired down by Aoife Doherty. Looks like it's going to drop in behind the Cavan full back line. No, it's blocked down, but it's won at the second attempt by Caoimhe Delaney. Gets the hand pass inside. Chance for a little step here by Emer Delaney, but she, the little bit of a dance she did as she went to take on the corner back made all the difference. If you like, she didn't get full value for the first 2 or 3 steps she was allowed. She was kind of dancing on the spot a little bit, and that meant she didn't have an awful lot of leeway when she went to try and sprint past her opposite number. Long ball forward by Emma Mulvaney. Mulvaney fires that one down into the full forward line. Now here's a chance. Eva Connaughty takes possession. Hand pass across here towards Roisin Galligan. Roisin Galligan, low ball inside, going to be fought for here. Bit of pressure coming on from Aisling McEnroe, but at the moment it's been well won by Aoife Doherty. Aoife Doherty, possession given away, however, and it was won by Eva Connaughty, and Connaughty then was held by the Mayo defender. So this is going to be an excellent opportunity for Cavan to finally get off the mark as the clock just ticks up on 8 minutes. So it just goes to show you there the pressure can be put on by this Cavan full forward line if they get the supply in, but the supply hasn't really been coming so far. So Aisling Keenahan stands over this free for Cavan. Rather unusual stance from the Lara player, but look, all that matters is the result. She sort of stood nearly facing the ball with her left foot right up on it, but the scoop and lift worked. It was an unusual technique, but it got the end result she would have desired. 3 points to 1, and Cavan are back in this game. Long puck out dropping up at midfield, but that's really well won there now. Hannah Fitzsimons hoovering up an awful lot of ball in this sector. Fires it down again, looking for Keenahan again. Keenahan doesn't get there first. The pressure is coming on. Gets the pressure on, but that's a good clearance by Niamh Greeley. Gets that ball out. Doesn't get a huge amount of distance on it, but clears her lines. And Cavan again will have to try and build up here now with this sideline cut from approximately, I'm going to say, just inside the 45-metre line. Alana Tierney now decides to go short with it. There's a lot of pressure there. Aisling McEnroe tries to get her body over it. Well won by McEnroe. Good power from the Den player. Ball inside now towards Roisin Galligan. Galligan gathers it at the second attempt after spilling it. Looks to feed that ball out, but the referee says no, that's an illegal hand pass. Throw ball, and Mayo have cleared their lines here. We're ticking up on the 10-minute mark. And that's definitely an important win from the Mayo defensive point of view. They haven't had an awful lot of balls to deal with down this end, but they got the pressure on there. They kept their discipline. They didn't foul, and now they've got the clearance. Long ball forward from Evine Crawley. Ball drops around midfield. Plenty of bodies crowding in around it. Looks like Ruby Lambert is going to be able to get in there and try and win possession. Ball breaks out here at the second attempt. It's Claire Flanagan who picks it up. Tries to feed it back towards Saoirse Delaney. Saoirse Delaney, there's a lovely hook comes in from the Cavan player, but Delaney wins it at the second attempt, but doesn't. There's no real direction on the shot. Cavan execute the clearance, and we go again. Cavan now, oh, that's an absolutely fantastic turn there from Sinead Livingston. Got in between two defenders. Defenders recover, get the tackle on, but Livingston fires that ball in. But the full forward position was somewhat vacant there. There were people in the corners, but there was no one at full forward. And Aoife Doherty was able to get away the clearance with little or no pressure on. Ball being fought for on the right wing. Really well done, Fionnuala McLaughlin. She's broken through 2 tackles. She's got one shot. She's got 1 point off her right. She gets the second one off her left. And I'll tell you, that is hugely impressive for any player, male or female, adult or underage, to be able to strike freely off both sides is really fantastic. Her first point off her right was very cleanly struck, and that one was straight between the posts off her left. Really well done. The low puck out, not won at the first attempt by Aisling Collins, but she's covered for, and it's well won there by Aisling Sexton. Long ball down, just about creeps over the sideline, and it's going to be a chance for Mayo to clear their lines. But that was good work from Sexton there, because when the puck out was missed at the first attempt, there was a chance for Mayo to win possession and to crowd in around the ball and to drive it forward. But they didn't take it, and instead Cavan were able to clear their lines. Now Mayo must build approximately 30 metres out from their own end line as this sideline ball. Aoife Doherty again goes short, but there's an awful lot of bodies around that, and she's fortunate to get the decision when it comes to the next sideline ball. 8 players are located within maybe 20 metres of the striker, and a 9th pops in and picks it up, and that's Claire Flanagan. Lovely exchange of passes with Doherty. Doherty, long clearance now. Out here on the left hand side, ball breaking down. Chance for both sides to get in on top of it. Looks like Mayo win it initially. That's really well done by Saoirse Delaney. She put her body in there between the heavy traffic, but on this occasion, and got the decision from the free. I think Hannah Fitzsimons had other ideas. She thought it was going to be a Cavan free, but and sure enough, Orla Donnelly says to Hannah Fitzsimons, yeah, you were actually correct. It was your free. That's a fantastic long strike going down by Fitzsimons. Long ball down there. Actually looks like Fitzsimons is, at first glance, I'm going to say Fitzsimons looks like she's using possibly one of the Cool Tech hurls there. There's a couple of Cavan players I know use them. But certainly she got a fair bit of power off that strike, and now it's a free for the Ulster County straight in front of the posts, and another chance for Aisling Keenahan. Keenahan fires that one up, looks accurate, umpire goes for the flag, and that's a second score of the game for Aisling Keenahan. 4 points to 2. Cavan have kind of settled back into this game after struggling to keep up in the opening exchanges. 13 minutes gone here. 4 points to Mayo, 2 points to Cavan. Aisling Sexton wins that ball. Doesn't get a great strike, but Cara Riley wins it at the second attempt. Fires that ball in, but again the full forward position is vacated. And sure enough, again, Mayo able to execute the clearance. Long ball forward by Evine Crawley, won by Saoirse Delaney. Saoirse Delaney has hurled a lot of ball out on that right flank. I have to say that was a harsh over-carrying call on the Mayo midfielder there, because she picked it up, she quickly just set her feet and looked to fire the ball into the full forward line. But Orla Donnelly said no, too many steps, and it's fairly clear that the referee is not going to take too much, she's not going to allow too much leeway when it comes to over-carrying here based on the first calls she's given. The free comes in, but that's a great catch. Lillian Keane takes possession, doesn't get the clearance away, however. That's what it's all about at these important games. Get the pressure on, force the striker to do something difficult with the sliotar in their possession, and then you'll get the turnovers more often than not. And sure enough, that's what happened there. Cavan were straight on top of Lillian Keane. It was eye-catching stuff when she got up and won the high ball, but the pressure went on in the strike, and now it's Cavan possession. Chance to cut the ball in towards the full forward position. Goes in low, but gets past Aisling Keenahan. Breaks in towards goal. Roisin Linsky, first meaningful action of the game for the Mayo goalkeeper. She gets out, wins the ball, and treats it safety first, out over the sideline. And again, it's going to be a Cavan sideline cut. Looks like Cara Riley going to stand over it again. Riley comes back in field, short delivery. Aoife Doherty looking to try and get there for Mayo. Doesn't manage to get there. That's really well won by the Cavan player. I'll identify her as soon as she comes back past me here. I'm pretty sure it could be. It's not. It actually was. It was Hannah Fitzsimons who got the strike away there. Well done by Hannah Fitzsimons. Won that ball. It broke past Aoife Doherty. She was onto it like a flash and whipped that ball over the bar. Cavan now, a little bit of momentum behind them. Ball being fed across by Maeve O'Reilly. Doesn't quite come to hand. O'Reilly wins at the second attempt. Looks to feed it back towards Aisling Sexton. Sexton can't quite gather. Again, high ball being fought for. And there's been an infringement spotted, and it's going to be a Mayo free. So Cavan had a bit of possession there, needed to just manage to force the clearance, get a little bit of a step away, enough room to swing a lump of ash, and didn't quite happen for them. I have to say, I noticed in the warm-ups beforehand, as we break for the water break, one of the most interesting things I picked up on was that a lot of the Mayo players using the very, very short hurl, you'd say probably 27, 28 inch hurls. as opposed to the longer sticks. This is obviously something Aaron Gillan, of course, being the most famous exponent of this from the men's game, just round about 6 feet tall, and he uses a 31-inch ash. But I noticed the same was particularly prominent on the Mayo side. I'd say that probably maybe half the girls or something approximating that were using hurls that wouldn't even have gone the whole way up their leg, never mind up to the hip, as was the instruction when I got back in the Mesozoic era when I started playing under 10 and under 12 back in Forban Belmont. I appreciate historical references are not really what we're looking for here today, but that's how far back we have to go to find my find my underage days. But it's definitely an interesting thing. It's all about getting that strike away in tight sectors, get the tackle in, be able to whip the hurl really, really quickly. And it's certainly the way the game has evolved. Of course, obviously, strength and conditioning work completely different from modern underage players as well. They tend to have a strength in the shoulders that from older vintages wouldn't have had at their disposal whatsoever. So we come back out on the field here. It was just over 15 minutes gone when we broke for the water break. So Cavan got themselves back into this. A lot of early attacks on the Mayo side. We've already had 3 wides for Mayo here. A couple of really fantastic points on their side, of course, from Fionnuala McLaughlin, the wing forward. But Cavan will be very, very happy to have settled back into this game. They got a couple of frees to settle them down. Hannah Fitzsimons, of course, with that excellent snapshot point. And now suddenly Mayo, for want of a better phrase, they have to do it all over again. So Aoife Doherty now stands over this free. Left-hand side, she'll look to drop this one high into the area. That's a wonderful strike. Perfect line. They get in under it, and it's going to be absolute chaos. Ruby Lambert fighting for that ball. It's on the deck. Who's going to pick it up? Really well done. Emma Brady actually on the Cavan side. Another player that... we have to ascertain who didn't actually start on the Cavan team. I will try and figure that out, but for now we'll keep up with the play. Long ball forward from Roisin Galligan. Ball won there at the back by Evine Crawley, and she looks to get the hand pass out. She was looking for her midfielder, Caoimhe Delaney, but there was a little bit of contact there, and Delaney has gone down hurt, so we're going to just take a moment here. I will try and ascertain, because certainly we knew Cara Riley was starting for Mia Hughes. But I see Emma Brady is in the full back line as well. I think replacing Roisin Boyle of the Castletown club. And Sinead Livingston has gone into the forward line as the referee starts doing a little bit of paperwork here. The pencil is out, so we'll learn in a minute what the actual sanction is, if anything. I presume it's going to be a free out to Mayo based on... if the referee feels the need to write anything down, well, then there must have been an infringement there. I suspect it actually could be one of the Cavan midfielders, possibly Alana Brady. I'm not sure if I can identify her out on the field. She could be another one that didn't start the game. I see Aisling Collins there, all right. So that could be where the gap is. That I would say it's Alana Brady that was replaced by Sinead Livingston. Obviously, if we'll get confirmation of that and make sure of it, but I'd say it's reasonable to assume that in addition to the change on the starting team, which we knew about, which was Riley for Mia Hughes, we're also looking at Emma Brady coming in for Roisin Boyle and Sinead Livingston coming in for Alana Brady. So treatment here, and it's actually, my apologies, it's not Caoimhe Delaney who's down, it's Niamh Greeley. Niamh Greeley who's down hurt here, and treatment comes in. She's sitting up at least, but so at least we can be confident that there's no head contact or anything like that, which obviously is the first and most important thing. Really important game for both these sides. This is a relatively new competition, first played in 2009. Neither of these counties have got their name on it in the 11 years that it was played. From 2009 through to 2019. The most recent winners were Tyrone 2 years ago. Obviously, like so many other Gaelic Games competitions across ladies football, camogie and GA, wasn't played in 2019. So it was a good chance for teams to get back on the field as Niamh Greeley walks off the pitch here now. Clearly very, very groggy, so we just have to identify who is the Mayo substitute that's going to be coming in for Greeley here. I see one player with a red and white helmet getting herself togged off there at the sideline. I notice Ruby Lambert being pulled back, so possibly it could be a case of bringing a forward and dropping Lambert back into the half-back line. Referee obviously didn't see any particular infringement because she's going to restart with a throw ball here. Miriam Page giving a final few instructions to the substitute. And we're back underway with a contested ball at midfield. I'll identify who the substitute is who's gone on for Niamh Greeley in a moment. Sure enough, she is gone on into the forward line with Ruby Lambert going back, as we have a Cavan free there now. Really good work by the Cavan corner forward, Aisling Keenahan. She took a heavy hit there. Or sorry, not Aisling Keenahan. I think it was... not actually sure who. Oh, no, my apologies. It was Cara Riley who took the hit in that situation. So Cara Riley took the hit. Aisling Keenahan was walking over to take the free. So we've just had a little bit of time for players to break. So for these players, it'll be a chance to get a little bit of a rest into the bones, build up the battery to go again. For some of the rest of us who spend our lives playing Junior B, it's just a chance for the lactic acid to gather in our bones and make us even more immobile than we were to begin with. But obviously these athletes operate on a different level entirely. I notice also on the Mayo side that Lillian Keane has also dropped back into a defensive position at the moment. So a lot of tactical changes going on here, of course. This is always the way when teams know each other quite well. As I said, they met each other in the group stages. They played at under 16 level a couple of years ago. So these teams would know each other quite well, both up-and-coming forces in the camogie world. Cavan really, you have to say, tremendous work has gone on in the Breffni County with 10 different clubs playing camogie these days. Some of them obviously only playing underage level, but overall, huge development. A lot of work happening in Mayo as well. Today's team entirely made up of players from Nabreej Oga and Westport, but Castlebar will be represented at junior level tomorrow afternoon. And great work going on in the Clare Morris club as well, as they try and get the game up and running there. Long free coming in from Aisling Keenahan. Ball breaks in the goal mouth. It's close. It spills over the line. And I have to say, Mayo will be happy there, because that one could have gone anywhere at all. So ball breaks out here for a 45, maybe about 15 metres to the left of, or to the left, closer to our side, I should say, to the right of the posts. Oh Lord, can't tell left from right. That's a very, very bad sign. This is what Google Maps has done to us anymore. You've lost our basic sense of direction. So chance here. Aisling Keenahan didn't manage to find the target with the initial free, but she dropped it just a little bit short. Again, steps into it in that unique style, certainly has the distance. High strike straight between the posts, and suddenly we have a level game here at Marcieviz Park. So 4 points each with 22 minutes gone. We've lost momentum, I'd have to say, over the last while. Loads of stoppages. So now, chance for them to get back into the game. Aisling Keenahan again under the dropping ball. Can't win it, but that's really strong work from Hannah Fitzsimons. Tries to get that away, and she's fouled. And this will be another chance to drop that ball in. Fitzsimons, really, really powerful player. As we spoke about, one of two dual players also plays underage football for Cavan as well. So she fires that ball in. It's on target. It's going to bounce. Will it be allowed drift wide? No. Instead, Roisin Linsky decides she's going to bat the ball out in the direction of Evie Crawley. Crawley looks to try and get the ball up, but again, the pressure is coming on there. A couple of Cavan players in on top of her. Ball has been won on the Cavan side. It's fed back out by Roisin Galligan. Roisin puts it in low. Lillian Keane trying to get down over it. Ball being fought for now, about 25 metres out from the Mayo goal. And breaks out left-hand side. Well won by Aisling Keenahan. Keenahan, can she get her strike away? She does. Strikes off the left, but pulls that one wide of the target. Could have been a chance to keep momentum going. Cavan are after getting the last 3 points in the game. but they didn't quite convert that one. Keenahan just didn't get a clean strike on it, and you'd have to say, even if it was on target, Roisin Linsky would have been able to deal with it. Again, Evie Crawley goes for distance off the puck out, looking for Fionnuala McLaughlin. Fionnuala McLaughlin, hard pressure coming in from Sinead Livingston. Ball again hits the deck. Both sides try and get down over it, try and smother it, win that ruck ball, which has become all the more important in modern hurling in Camogie, and eventually we have a sideline cut. Beautiful view there as Ben Bulbin looks down over this remarkably picturesque venue in the northwest of Ireland. Somewhat appropriate venue. Both these girls looking to make history for their respective counties by putting their name on Ireland minor silverware for the first time. And obviously ground named after Constance Marcieviz, Ireland's first ever female TD, and several other historical things as well, which people of greater historical knowledge than me will fill in on. I'll just throw that little teaser out there and leave the rest of it to ye. But anyway, Mayo sideline ball here with Saoirse Delaney standing over it. She'll look, try and get a bit of elevation in this, drop it into the box, doesn't get it off the ground. However, it's there to be fought for as well. Ball is fought, comes in at the second attempt. Emma Brady couldn't quite win it. High ball coming in there, pressured. The sub, Leisha Greeley, is the player. This first chance for her to get in on the game, but well won by Emma Mulvaney. Emma Mulvaney got back down, got to win that ball. Doesn't get it the whole way clear, however. But it's deemed to be a foul by Saoirse Delaney on Roisin Galligan, and Cavan will get a chance to clear their lines. Again, not for the first time in the game, it looks as if Orla Donnelly has changed direction on the free. She's decided that no, it wasn't a foul by the Mayo player on the Cavan player. Instead, it was the Mayo midfielder, Caoimhe Donnelly, who was more sinned against than sinning. So this will be a tough free now. Aoife Doherty standing over it. You'd have to say probably within range, although the question you would ask is it's out on the sidelines, so it'll be a very, very tough one to keep on target. Doherty hoists that one up. Definitely has the range, and the demeanour of the Cavan players will tell you that is straight between the posts. That's an excellent strike. It's such value to a team to be able to convert dead ball opportunities like that. Keep the scoreboard moving as that long ball is hammered down the field. Looking again, Cavan started with short puckouts. The first 3 puckouts they took went short. Now they've decided, no, that's not the way to go. Play the game in the Mayo half of the field. They got that ball down. We have another disputed sideline ball here, but there's unanimity among the officials there, and it's going to be a Mayo sideline ball, and it's going to be Saoirse Delaney who's going to take it. So yeah, as we said, the first 3 puckouts of the game on the Cavan side, they look to go short. They look to try and find runners in their half-back line. They've obviously decided that tactic wasn't working particularly well for us. Let's get the ball down the field. There's a former Offaly hurler who used to describe it as horse it down there long and ignorant and let me do the rest. So something like that, I think, is the tactic that Jimmy Greville is going for here. Low ball down for Aisling Keenahan. Keenahan gets out well, fires that into the corner. That's a really good ball. Oh, it comes off the hand of Maeve O'Reilly. It was a great chance for O'Reilly to maybe try and break in on goal there, but Mayo were able to win it at the second attempt. Lillian Keane, I talked about her coming back into the back line, and I tell you, she's hoovered up an awful lot of ball back there. Really well won by Hannah Fitzsimons. She's having a dominant game. Chance in behind. Aisling McEnroe putting the pressure on, but well done by Roisin Linsky. Ball fed back out here. Another chance for Cavan at the second attempt, and that slap between the posts, and we're back on level terms here, but it was a glorious opportunity for Aisling McEnroe. So that one is put between the posts by Alana Tierney. Alana Tierney's first point of this game, and she ties it up at 5 points apiece. Cavan win the puck out again. Out here on the left-hand side, looking for the low ball down. Blocked down, really well blocked down. And again, that's a powerful run, I'll tell you. Fionnuala McLaughlin, really, really impressive. Will she add a third score? No, drops that one short. And Roisin Boyle wins it at that attempt. So again, I'm going to have to revisit who didn't make the start for the Cavan side, because Roisin Boyle is out there. Saoirse Delaney with the low ball in. It's breaking down. Chance for Cavan here. Emer Delaney fighting for it. Breaks out here. Aisling Collins gets the clearance away. Ball coming out towards midfield. Roisin Galligan fighting for it. Doesn't manage to win it. Ball whipped down low now. Really well done. Galligan is in there at the second attempt. Galligan fighting here with Emily Kelly. Emer Geraghty hasn't really made an impact on the game. Here we go now. Here's a chance for Emily Kelly. Emily Kelly shooting off the left, but again she's dropped that one short. She had a similar run earlier in the game. She covered good ground, got in on goal, but just the strike let her down that little bit. And that one dribbles wide of the target. That's a fourth Mayo wide of the game. And we are still all square here at Marcieviz Park. That's a fantastic puck out coming long from Emma Mulvaney there. And under the puck out, it's deemed to be a foul. It's deemed to be a foul, and it's deemed to be a Cavan free in. So Aisling Keenahan, so far now, Keenahan hadn't taken the ones from long distance. Keenahan was shooting from closer range, with Hannah Fitzsimons taking the more longer range strikes. But Keenahan is looking for it here. I see Fitzsimons has dropped in closer to goal. Keenahan gets plenty of air on it. That's going to drop around about the 13-metre line. Breaks down. Mayo initially sharper on it. Really well done by Aoife Doherty. Ball fed out here towards the sideline, towards Cara Burke. Cara Burke gets down, doesn't quite gather it at the first attempt. Ball hits the deck. Pressure coming on there on the Mayo side, or on the Cavan side, I should say. Pressure coming on from Aisling McEnroe, and forces the ball out over the sideline, and it's going to be a Mayo sideline ball. Well gathered there by Aisling McEnroe. Looks to drive her way through the tackle. Hand pass inside towards Aoife Connaughty. Tight angle, needs to step inside. Connaughty comes back in towards Cara Riley. Can she get the shot across? Connaughty putting pressure on again. It's scrambled across the goal line. Aoife Connaughty was there. I think she got the final touch. And suddenly Cavan have their first lead of the game. It was a powerful run from Connaughty. Aisling McEnroe was heavily involved as well. And we just look here at the replay. Ball scrambled along the line. It's hard to tell who got the final touch there, whether it was Connaughty or McEnroe. But both players in there putting plenty of pressure on the Mayo back line. It was the run from Connaughty really though that made all the difference. She broke inside, got the hand pass back in there, and it was just a question of who got their stick on it. Yet Eva Connaughty there, who got her stick on it, forced that ball across the line. It's not about who puts their name on the scores though, it's all about getting the finish. And that's an absolutely vital score in the context of this game. We think about how Mayo earlier on were leading by 4 points to 1, and they were looking in control of the game. Cavan's attack was certainly posing a threat. You could see the long deliveries coming in. Hannah Fitzsimons named a corner forward, but operating around the middle third of the field. She was dropping a lot of good high balls in. But overall, you'd have to say Mayo were causing the greater threat. There was those breaking runs from midfield were making all the difference. A couple of really strong runs on goal by Emily Kelly and Fionnuala McLaughlin. McLaughlin, of course, getting her name on the score sheet with 2 excellent points. But suddenly now the momentum has shifted completely, and now Mayo have to try and work their way back into this game. And it's Cavan possession as well. Aisling Sexton winning it out on the sideline. Gets that ball inside towards Fitzsimons. Long strike from Fitzsimons, going to overshoot the full forward line. Roisin Linsky needs to deal with it, and Connaughty trying to get the pressure on. Gets the clearance away, but it's there to be fought for. Lillian Keane getting on top of it. Good work, Keane. Gathers that ball, fires it down the sideline. Well won now by Claire Flanagan. Claire Flanagan horses it forward. Tries to get it up. We're in the half-forward position, but that's well won. Looks like Cavan in control. Good win out of heavy traffic. Really well done. It's an over-carrying decision there. It looked like Alana Tierney had done really, really well over that ball. She'd got her body on top of it, but referee said there was an infringement in there somewhere. Possibly she maybe held the hurl of the Mayo player to try and burst her way out. And this is going to be an opportunity for Mayo, albeit a very, very difficult one. So you'd have to imagine this will be on the edge of range from Aoife Doherty's point of view. Doherty lifts and strikes. It's going to drop short. It's going to be there to fought for in around the 13-metre line. breaks loose. Chance there for Leisha Greeley to try and fight for it. Greeley still hasn't got a clean possession in her hands, and the referee decides no, that ball has broken wide of the target. You haven't taken your opportunity. It'll go down in the books as a 5th wide for Mayo. And that's all the action in the first half. That was a chance for Mayo to try and counteract the crucial score of the game, which is that goal shortly, just a couple of minutes ago there, just on the cusp of the end of normal time at the end of the first half by Eva Connaughey. It was a somewhat disjointed game, you'd have to say, for the second quarter. Plenty of free-flowing action in the first quarter, and that suited Mayo. They were happy to run the ball. They were moving it quickly. They were bringing their forwards into play. They got some excellent scores on the board through Emer Delaney, Fionnuala McLaughlin, and, of course, that long-range 45 from Aoife Doherty. But gradually, Cavan have worked their way back into this. They've addressed a lot of the problem areas on the field. There's been a lot of tactical switches, and suddenly now they're getting on a lot more possession. They have a lot more control of the puck outs, and the chances are coming as a result. Of course, goals win games, and while Cavan have a long way to go to say they've won the game, they've struck first blood in that regard with that Eva Connaughey goal, and that is the difference between the teams at half-time here. So as we break for half-time, the score here at Marcieviz Park is Cavan 1 goal and 5 points, Mayo 5 points. Cavan lead the Tesco All-Ireland Minor C final by 3 points at half-time. We'll be back with you shortly. Back here to Marcieviz Park in Cavan. We are just about getting ready to get underway for the second half of this Tesco All-Ireland Minor C Camogie final between Mayo and Cavan. A game where you'd say the first quarter of the game completely favoured Mayo. They were the stronger team. Didn't quite make it count on the scoreboard, however. Maximum lead was 4 points to 1, and now suddenly they find themselves a goal down due to Aoife Connaughty's goal at the start of the half. As I spoke earlier, what breezes in it will favour Mayo in this half, but it's fairly minimal as that long free comes in from Hannah Fitzsimons. She's dropping it down there, ball being fought for by Aisling McEnroe, but that's well won. Really good work by Evine Crawley. Gets that ball out towards Lillian Keane. Lillian Keane, who has been sweeping up really well. Doesn't get the pass away, however. Hannah Fitzsimons now gathers possession at the second attempt. Low ball in, Crawley gets down, cuts it out, gathers that ball. Really clinical work. She made sure of the pick up at the first attempt. High ball up there now. Fighting for it is on the Mayo, on the Cavan side is Sinead Livingston. Pressure coming on there, however, by Saoirse Delaney, or Seish Delaney as they do call her in Mayo. So Saoirse Delaney wins that ball. Fionnuala McLaughlin was on the scene as well, and now we're going to have Mayo free, and I presume it's Aoife Doherty who'll come forward to take this. Sure enough it is. Aoife Doherty, some excellent long range striking in the first half. 2 points to her name, one from a free, one from a 45. And I'll tell you, she's given this one a chance too. It's possibly pushed out to the left, however. It has been 5 wides for Mayo in the first half, and that's the first of the second half. 6 in total, only 3 for Cavan so far in this game. So a little bit more efficiency on the Cavan side as well. Long ball forward here now, looking for Cara Riley. Cara Riley gets down, doesn't get a very clean contact, however. She's looking for Aisling Keenahan. Aoife Doherty's on the scene as well, trying to get down over it. Again, another ruck ball. Who's coming out with possession here? Doherty fighting for it. Ball squirts out. Lillian Keane fighting for it now. Ball squirts out again, and it looks like it's been won on the Mayo side. Really well done there. Ava Delaney got in and managed to pick up possession. And Mayo now with the free, and Aoife Doherty with a chance to clear lines. Really, it's all about momentum in games like this. Momentum, a huge factor in underage games. Mayo had it early on. Cavan took it in the second quarter. Now it's a question, can Mayo seize the initiative back and get back in control of this game? Doherty looks down for the left corner. Leisha Greeley fighting for it. Ball is broken down by Maeve O'Reilly on the Cavan side. Falls here for Claire Flanagan. Flanagan now shoots off the right shoulder. That's a dangerous ball, dropping in. Chance now here for Mayo, try and get a goal opportunity. Shot off the left by Fionnuala McLaughlin. She pulled it wide of the target. It was a glorious opportunity. The ball was fired in there. It dropped, a dangerous ball for Alana Clark to try and deal with. She spilled it. Fionnuala McLaughlin was on hand, won the ball, turned, but just swung it too much. Lillian Keane again, I have to say, Keane really coming into this game now. Fires that ball in again, looking for a full forward, Emer Delaney, and that ball is broken out for a 45, so it's going to be another chance for Aoife Doherty. You'd have to say Emer Delaney, she's been moved around the place a little bit. They're trying to get her into the game. Hasn't really happened for her so far. She's yet to get on the score sheet. She, of course, scored a goal and 3 points when these sides met in the group game at Cross Keys. Was a key performer on that occasion. And her side fell a point short, but ultimately that didn't really matter. And you could argue they probably were better off for getting an extra meaningful game. Cavan not tested by Louth. Mayo had a good game against Wicklow. You would have said that probably would have brought them on. But right now Cavan have found the rhythm as Doherty, and you can tell by the little stutter step after she fired that one, that was going straight between the posts. That's one of the first things you learn when you're reporting on Gaelic Games matches. If there's a free kick or a free puck where the angle is not perfect for you, look at the demeanour of the striker. That'll tell you where it's going. And you knew by Doherty's little dance afterwards, she was very, very happy. She was going away with her head held high. She knew she had put that right where she wanted it to go. Whereas the striker who maybe doesn't hit the target will look down at the ground and try and tell the crowd that a divot or something like that was responsible. Any excuse, as they say. I have a little bit of cynicism towards free takers. You know, I find they get player of the match awards and things like that a little bit too easy. But in this instance, you'd have to say Aoife Doherty is going to be thereabouts, because, as I said, 3 scores to her game and all long-range strikes, really important ones. Cavan now leading by 2 points. We've another ruck ball here on the right over on this sideline, and Orla Donnelly decides, do you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of pressure off and throw that ball in. Aoife Doherty goes in for it. Hannah Fitzsimons goes in for it. Really well done, Hannah Fitzsimons. Powerful run by the Den player, but spills the ball. Chance at the second attempt. Aisling McEnroe now. Aisling McEnroe trying to get her body over it. Really strong players on the Cavan side. Fionnuala McLaughlin is in there as well. Ball scuttles out the side. And we have another ruck play. Who comes out with it? Oh, well done, Roisin Galligan. Roisin Galligan wins it. Long ball in. She's looking for Aisling Keenahan. Breaks in beside. Cavan half-time substitute. Lindsay Brady is actually in there. Oh, and Brady pulls that wide of the posts. Great opportunity for Cavan there. That might be just their 4th wide of the game, but I'll tell you, it was an important one. It was just wide of the target. And I'll have to figure out actually who Lindsay Brady came in for there, because she's a new introduction. I'll have a look and see actually if I see Emma Mulvaney on the field. It could be Emma Mulvaney. We'll get back to that. Low ball down here from Sinead Livingston, looking for Eva Connaughty in the corner. Ah, that's well won, Aoife Doherty. Really strong performance on the sideline. Ball out, ball well kept in there. Really good work by Claire Flanagan. But now, great chance for Saoirse Delaney. Saoirse Delaney shoots off her left, looks on target. Great score. Ah, that's fantastic work. You think of all the talk there was. Oh, but they're coming back for the sideline ball. They're coming back for the sideline ball. Oh, that's rough justice. It was really good play the whole way up. You have to say, Claire Flanagan did so well. I know the end decision was that she didn't keep the ball in play, but it was reminiscent of Diarmuid O'Connor at Croke Park there, the way he kept that ball in on the sideline to set up a vital score for Kevin McLaughlin of Mayo in their All-Ireland semi-final win over Dublin. There was shades of that there, the way Claire Flanagan kept the ball in play and set up Saoirse Delaney. But linesperson on the scene said no, the sliotar had crossed the line, so we had to come back for the sideline ball. So really rough justice on the Mayo side, but definitely you get the sense that they've kind of shifted momentum a little bit again now. Mayo getting back into this game here. Aoife Doherty now with another chance to fire a long ball into the Cavan full back line, cause a little bit of chaos, raise a little hell as the song goes. Doherty drops it in there. Oh, that's really well done in the Cavan full back line. Great clearance. I think it was no, it was Emma Mulvaney, who's now playing at full back. She gets the ball clear. Really powerful stuff. Ball out here towards the sideline. Cara Riley feeds it infield. Good opportunity now for Alana Tierney. Alana Tierney, a little bit of space opens up for her. Tries to go around Doherty. Doherty holds her patience. Says, no, I'm not going to give you the free. I'm going to make you go around me. Long ball into the corner. Another chance now here. Looks like it's actually number 27, Orla McCabe, who came in. I was saying it was 22, Lindsay Brady, so it's Orla McCabe who came in. Shot coming in from the corner. Good chance for Aoife Connaughty. Catches it well on the far post. Oh, it's a big block down, but a chance in the second attempt. Oh, Alana Tierney couldn't just make contact with it. Chance now here for Roisin Galligan. Can she get away? No, Mayo execute the clearance. That's a big defensive stand from the Connacht County. Can they get the ball rightly clear their lines? Because Connaughty had a great opportunity there, fielded that ball at the far post, but a really fantastic block from Evie Crawley managed to preserve Mayo's goal. Chance now again coming here. Roisin Galligan wins possession. Roisin Galligan wins the free, and that's going to be a big opportunity for Cavan. Really important that they get a score at the end of all this, because that was a sustained period of pressure there from the Breffni County, and you'd have to say it was a goal chance, but they didn't manage to convert it. And really kudos there to Evie Crawley for that fantastic block down. Really good work by the Mayo full-back to preserve her goal and protect her keeper, Roisin Linsky. So Aisling Keenahan stands over this free. Oh, and see what I mean about the demeanour. As I say, she went straight for the ground with her hurl after that one. She knew that wasn't where she wanted it to go. So Mayo will feel that they still have a little bit of initiative here. They've held firm in the face of pressure. big goal line stand there. Long puck out coming forward. Saoirse Delaney tries to get up and win it. Doesn't manage to win it. Fionnuala McLaughlin now. Good strike down. Now, great chance for Mayo here. Ball being fired in low by the corner forward. Oh, and it drifts wide of the target. Emer Delaney with the low ball. She was looking to try and connect with her forward line, as we've another substitution on the Cavan team here. So on the Cavan side, it's the number 3. It's the named fullback, but she was playing midfield. It's Alana Tierney who's been replaced. And I'll tell you in a second now who's come in to replace her. Alana Tierney has been replaced, and Mia Hughes has come in to replace her. So that's a swap on the Cavan side. 10 minutes into the second half. Saoirse Delaney now. Saoirse Delaney turns back onto her right, whips that ball in low. It's bouncing. It's there to be won in the Mayo full forward line. Emer Geraghty comes out for it. Doesn't manage to get her shot away though. Cavan corner back. Roisin McDonald wins the ball. Ball breaks out here towards the left corner. Good clearance by Roisin Boyle. Gets the ball up the sideline. Now chance for Cavan to win at the second attempt, but it's a pull. And Alana Brainy not particularly happy with that one. Actually, could have been Mia Hughes. I think it was the first touch for Mia Hughes. And but one way or another, it doesn't matter. It was a free in. It was deemed to have been a foul. So there's going to be another opportunity for Aoife Doherty. Again, I'll tell you, she hasn't got any handy ones today. 2 45s between the posts. And the free she took in the first half was right out on the right-hand sideline. And similar here, now she's getting one from out on the left. So sometimes free takers can rack up their total with handy numbers, but there's been none of those for Doherty here today. Doherty drops that one in. She looks happy with it. Why wouldn't she be happy with it? That's a fantastic finish. Really good strike by the Nabrejoga player. And I'll tell you, you can see exactly why she'll be called up for adult action with the juniors tomorrow if she's able to do that. So now, a single point between the game. The tension hotting up here. Aisling McEnroe fires that ball in. Will Mayo be able to execute the clearance? They are. Really good work in the Mayo defensive line. High ball up here, being fought for between Fionnuala McLaughlin and Sinead Livingston. Ball breaks down here. McLaughlin. Great strike down by McLaughlin. The half block from Livingston, but McLaughlin still got it away. Ball being fought for now by Emma Mulvaney. Emma Mulvaney, power and strength as she drives out of the position. Fends off the tacklers. That's really strong play. She was named at centre forward, but you'd have to say she has controlled the full back berth really well. Long strike down now by Mulvaney. Mulvaney horsed that ball forward. In now, well won by Evine Crawley. You'd have to say the two fullbacks have been really dominant influences on this game so far. Both of them have been really strong. Chance for Cavan now with the sideline ball. Hannah Fitzsimons is going to try and cut this one in. She's going to look to get a bit of elevation on it. Doesn't quite, but it squirts past Caoimhe Delaney. Chance now for Roisin Galligan. Roisin Galligan overcarrying is the decision. And we're going to have a free out here. So another chance for Mayo. Evine Crawley's going to get the ball clear here. And it shows the confidence that the Mayo players have in their fullback, that they all drop a good 100 yards away. They know this ball is coming down long, sure enough, but it's been well scooped up here on the Cavan side by Aisling Sexton. Sexton goes low down along the sideline. Ball breaks past. Second attempt there. The win comes in from Aisling McEnroe. Ball being fed on here. Hannah Fitzsimons. Powerful run, Fitzsimons. We know she can strike. Oh, the ball's broken down. Oh, it was a glorious opportunity. Oh, I'll tell you, Roisin Linsky just blocked that ball outwards. And Aisling Keenahan was right there. She just didn't have time to react. She just got her hurl on it. And it just deflected inches wide of the posts. It has to be said, Cavan, they've had 3 wides in this second half. 2 of them have been goal chances. You get the sense that big score is waiting to happen for them. But in this instance now, Mayo driving on again through McLaughlin. McLaughlin looking to get her shot away. That's a fantastic battle, I have to say, between her and Sinead Livingston. Livingston, for the second time, got the block on her. And that's going to be a free out for Cavan now. Emma Mulvaney with the chance with the long-range clearance. Mulvaney, big strike of the ball, coming down, dropping into the right half forward position. Plenty of players under the dropping ball. One of them is Aisling McEnroe. McEnroe gets her body over the ball, tries to use her strength and hold position. Ball breaks out though. Ava Delaney wins it for Mayo, scoots it out towards Claire Flanagan. Claire Flanagan now trying to break away from the tackle, gets her strike, goes long. Aisling Collins now with a chance to pick up possession. Collins again hoist that one up. There's a few more Mayo bodies around that, but that's well done by Orla McCabe. Orla McCabe gets a little kick away, gets it out towards Cara Riley. Cara Riley doesn't get her shot away, however. Good pressure from Ava Delaney. Can Mayo execute the clearance? Well done by the Mayo corner forward, Ruby Lambert dropping in. She manages to pick it up. Every ball being fought for with real intensity here. As you'd have to imagine, we could be waiting on the water break any minute now. And is that what Orla Donnelly has signalled for? It is surely. It is surely. Orla Donnelly signalling for the water break there. And so a chance for the two teams to regroup. This one really could go any direction whatsoever. You couldn't rule out extra time here. 1 goal and 5 to Mayo or to Cavan. Still haven't got on the score sheet in this second half. Just those 2 points on the board for Mayo. Both from the stick of Aoife Doherty, the 45 and the free. So while the action has been intense, been very, very ferocious competition for the breaking ball, we haven't had the scores on the board. No end of goalmouth action, however. Really, the highlights of that half, you'd have to say, the missed opportunity. The wide shot from Orla McCabe that was pulled across the goal posts. Chance for Eva Connaughey that was brilliantly blocked down by Evine Crawley. And then, of course, just there, the long ball in, broken out by Roisin Linsky, and a wonderful opportunity for the corner forward, Aisling Keenan, to try and get her stick on that. If she had maybe tried to control the ball, she probably didn't realise that she had the opportunity. She had the opportunity not just to control it, but even to take it into her hand, I'd say, and pick out the shot. But corner forward's instinct, do it quickly. She just tried to get her stick on the ball, and it just broke inches wide of the target. At that range, there was nothing Roisin Linsky could have done about it. So, just under 16 minutes on the clock, we are back underway. Final quarter of this Tesco All-Ireland Minor Championship final. Long ball coming out here towards the left wing. Loads of space. Orla McCabe is able to get out and win it. McCabe drops that high ball in. Being fought for there, Mia Hughes is underneath it. Doesn't manage to win it, however. Ruby Lambert is back, sweeping up for Mayo. Doesn't get a strong touch on the clearance. Aisling McEnroe now, we know she can run. Also plays with Ulster Rugby. Driving forward, I'll tell you, like a proper inside centre. McEnroe's ball in, that one is hoisted up. This could go anywhere. The touch was there from Connaughey. The referee says that's perfectly fine. She wasn't inside the small square when the ball dropped, and that's an absolutely vital touch. You'd have to say, Connaughey, that is proper corner forward stuff from her. She isn't somebody that's been on the ball an awful lot, but my God, has she made her touches count this afternoon. And that's some final contribution to a game, as she's just about being taken off here now. So I'll tell you, that's some last hurrah from the Den player in the corner forward position. She got in, she fought for that ball. It was put in by, I'm not actually sure who put the high ball in, but she got the high touch on it. And it was an absolutely vital touch. She got it over the line, and suddenly now Cavan have 4 points to spare here. So, what can Mayo do? They were on top, you'd have to say, in the second quarter, and all of a sudden they have more of a gap. Another high ball coming in here. Looks like that one's going to drop wide. Barely gets wide. Alana Brady probably could have chased it down a little bit more if she'd gone for it. But either way, those 2 goals from Eva Connaughey look like they're going to make all the difference here. Mayo now have just over 12 minutes plus stoppage time to try and save their season. Claire Flanagan now gets down, wins this ball at midfield. Hand pass outside towards Aoife Doherty. Loads of pressure coming on Doherty. Cara Riley is on the scene trying to force the miss hit. And then Roisin Boyle comes in, gathers up the seconds as it were. Aisling Sexton fires the ball down the sideline. That's gone out over the line and it's going to be a Mayo sideline cut. So we've just had the third substitution of the game there for Cavan. Alana Brady coming in for Aoife Connaughty. And they have a 4-point gap going into the closing stages. It was 2-7 to 1-9 when they met in the group stages of this competition. You'd have to say a similar scoreline couldn't be ruled out here. We're on track for something similar. Cavan won't mind if they're the ones on the right side of the scoreboard when it ends. That's a lovely sideline cut. Gains a good 30 metres of ground. Ball down here now, and again we have a ruck over it. Lillian Keane is there fighting for possession. Mayo win it at the second attempt. Ball fired in by Leisha Greeley. Leisha Greeley's shot, however, goes wide of the target. We're now up on 9 wides for Mayo. That stat is a little bit misleading in the sense that 3 of those wides weren't actually shots on goal. They were more low balls in that crept wide. We've another substitution coming in. This one is on the Mayo side. And it shows, I'll tell you, Emer Geraghty is being taken off the Mayo team. And she would have been someone that you'd say was, she would have been somebody that you would have earmarked as one of the main scoring threats in this team coming into the game. So it just shows you how good of a job that Emma Mulvaney has done at full back for Cavan. As the high ball, and as we talk here, Mulvaney just drops that ball, but it's won at the second attempt by Alana Clark. Alana Clark fires that out. Possession for Mayo at midfield here now. Chance for Caoimhe Delaney. Doesn't get a clean strike on the ball. Aisling Sexton does really, really well. Sexton fires that ball out. Now, breaking ball at midfield. Cara Riley fighting for it. Cara Riley wins it well. Steps inside Ava Delaney. Cara Riley over carrying. Well, I'll say this much: Orla Delaney is, or Orla Donnelly, I should say, is extremely consistent in that regard, because she's very, very harsh on over carrying on both sides. There's been a couple of players on both sides have felt a little bit hard done by, but she's extremely consistent in what she's doing. By the way, Evine Linsky was the substitute that came in there for Evine Geraghty, or for Emer Geraghty, I should say. So that's the second substitution of the game on the Mayo side. The first one, of course, entirely enforced in the first half when Niamh Greeley was forced to make way. So now, chance here for Evine Linsky to try and make an impression. Doesn't get her shot away there. Aisling Collins with the clearance. Long ball coming down. Aoife Doherty, though, have to say, she's been really, really impressive here now. Doherty tries to get the strike away. Doesn't get it. Blocked down coming in. Chance now. That's lovely, lovely work by Hannah Fitzsimons. Hannah Fitzsimons scoops that ball up at midfield. Fires that ball into the full forward line. It's being fought for there. Aisling Keenan going for it. Breaks out. Fitzsimons now at the second attempt, but that's good tackling by Emily Kelly. Emily Kelly got the hurl in really well. Orla McCabe now with the opportunity. She too can't gather it. Again, Mayo in possession. And the Mayo defender there, her hurl was being held. It was again Ruby Lambert who was kind of coming back, operating as a covering defender. And I'll tell you, she's after picking up a couple of very, very vital possessions here. The only thing is Mayo, they need to start getting scores on the board. We're coming on for 22 minutes gone in this game. They have 4 points to make up. They're getting plenty of possession, but it's just not counting on the scoreboard so far. Ball being fought for. Aisling McEnroe gets in. Well done, McEnroe. Will she get the hand pass away? Just drives past the defender. Looks to feed it down towards McCabe. McCabe, she gets the ball into her hand, but it just creeps out over the sideline. So again, Mayo have a chance to kind of win possession. They just need to get a little bit more distance. The last sideline cut on this side was taken by Aoife Doherty. She got a good 30-35 metres into the clearance, and you get the sense that she'll need something similar here to try and get the ball down the sideline and try and initiate another attack. Mayo, they've had plenty of possession this half, but still only the 2 points on the board. It's all about making your scores count, and right now Cavan have just been that little bit better at doing that. Again, great work in the full back position there by Emma Mulvaney. Blocked down, however. She gets in, tries to win it at the second attempt. We've another big ruck in there, and that's been won now. Out, Cavan Delaney picks up possession, fires it over her shoulder. Low ball inside, looking for Leisha Greeley, but that's well done by Alana Clark. Was alive to the danger, reacted sharply, came off her goal line, got the clearance away. Long ball coming in from Saoirse Delaney. That could drop anywhere. Breaks in behind. Chance now for Leisha Greeley. Gets the ball into possession. That's a big block down. Really well done by the Cavan defender. Really good block down there coming in from Roisin Boyle. Now, Saoirse Delaney. Saoirse Delaney, will she whip this one in? Good strike as well. It's all about who wins it. Mulvaney is there in front of it. Now breaks out towards Leisha Greeley. Shot from a tight angle. Broken down by the goalkeeper. Oh, and that's a big win. Really well done, Aisling Collins. There were two Mayo players hovering, just looking for that little vital touch that could have given them the goal that they needed. Now, on the other end, Aisling McEnroe driving forward. Hand pass. Fired inwards. Oh, just can't be gathered there by Orla McCabe. It would have been a great opportunity. Now, another chance here. Mia Hughes comes onto it. Mia Hughes with the hand pass, but no, that's scooped up by Cara Burke. Just need to get the clearance away. Burke doesn't get the clearance, but at the second attempt, Doherty comes in. Fires this ball out here towards Mayo's right wing. Fionnuala McLaughlin, she hasn't had a chance to show her pace in this game so far. Tackle coming in from Sinead Livingston. Illegal tackle, says the referee, and it's going to be another Mayo ball in. You get the sense that they really need to carve out a goal chance here. They were just unlucky in that instance. The shot came in from Leisha Greeley, and it just broke perfectly. It broke off the stick of Alana Clark in the Cavan goal. It could have gone any direction, but it fell perfectly for Aisling Collins. Two Mayo players loitering, but just the break didn't go their way. This free coming in from Doherty now. Doherty, this one's going to drop short. Batted out really well there by Aisling Collins. She's actually made a couple of... she's been a strong performer here in the second half. There's been another Mayo substitution, which again I'll bring in a minute. I see that Claire Flanagan has gone off. Lillian Keane whips that ball in, but again we're now up on 10 wides for Mayo, and again that's a fourth one, which wasn't really a shot as much as it was a ball in towards the forward line. So that was a missed opportunity there. I'll identify who's gone on the Mayo side there now in a second, but we come for the quick puck out here. Ruby Lambert looking to chase it, and doesn't need to chase it down. So Lillian Keane has gone back up into the forward line. So I suspect that the new player, whoever she is, has gone on into the back somewhere, because Keane had been operating in the backs. Now I understand that obviously at this stage of the game, Mayo will push forward, chasing scores from wherever they can get them. Sideline coming in. That's a good cut from Doherty. It's there to be fought for. Breaks down off Caoimhe Delaney's stick. The high shot coming in here, and you can tell by the reaction that one's been pushed wide of the target as well by Fionnuala McLaughlin. You'd have to say Mayo are getting the possession they need, but they're just not making a count on the scoreboard. They need to find a way. At this stage, you get the sense that they're going to need to get at least one goal to get back into this. So again, the puck out comes. Aoife Doherty fights for it. Roisin Galligan is there for Cavan. Galligan tries to get down over it, and it's going to be a free for Cavan. Chance to clear their lines, give those backs a little bit of breathing room. So coming over to take it is Hannah Fitzsimons. She's taking a little bit of time over it. They certainly won't mind running the clock down here. There's 26 and a half minutes gone. We have 3.5 minutes to go here. Fitzsimons, that's a good cut as well. Gets a good bit of distance on it. Feeds that ball forward. She's looking for Mia Hughes. Mia Hughes doesn't win it. Roisin Galligan is fighting for it. Aoife Doherty again doesn't get the clearance away, however. She's hooked. Another chance. Mayo win it at the second attempt. Ball coming up here towards Niamh Greeley is actually the player who's come back in. Niamh Greeley is the player who has come back in for Flanagan. So again, Cavan ball here, and Cavan will be so happy just to play out the game in the middle third of the field. That's what they'll want to do here. Ball looking for Aisling McEnroe. Aisling McEnroe, and again we have another one of those rucks, and again Orla Donnelly says, look, I'm just going to throw the ball in here. That's a little bit too much of a pile up. If we're going to get clarity on this, we need an opportunity to throw the ball in and to reset the play. So on the Mayo side, it's Cavan Delaney gone in for the throw ball. Looked like it was Roisin Galligan gone in there for Cavan. And I saw a flag being waved in Mayo's favour, so it looks like Mayo have the possession. I'm not entirely sure whether it's a free or a sideline. But one way or another, it's just a question of get the ball back up the field as quick as they can. They have 4 points to find. They trail by there's just 2 minutes remaining. Lillian Keane wins that really well. Keane, chopped down on her hurl is the decision. So, 55 metres out from goal, probably outside of scoring range. They're going to need a goal and a point at this stage, Mayo. But it's a case of do whatever you can. Aoife Doherty comes forward again. Really strong performance from Aoife Doherty. But that'll mean nothing to her if she can't find a way to get on the winning team, or at least to try and force this into extra time. Doherty, high dropping ball coming into the square. It's on target. Oh, it's not quite actually on target. It looked like it was on a good line, but it just crept inches wide of the posts. Disappointing that she didn't at least put it on range and leave her forwards a chance to fight for it if she wasn't going to be on target. So, Cavan with a long puck out here. Ball fired forward. Fired straight back in by Saoirse Delaney. Delaney drops that in. Oh, that's really, really good work by the Cavan full back there. I'll tell you, Emma Mulvaney has really impressed me throughout this game. I won't name player of the match yet, but I'd have to say at the moment I suspect that she's definitely the front runner after dominating that full back position and doing really, really well. So ball in there. Cavan Delaney fires it inside towards Lillian Keane. Keane puts it between the posts, and we have a one-score game here. 29 and a half. I'm just being informed from the sideline here that it's a replay in the event of a draw here, so it'll be a case to do it all again. So Mayo were ticking on for just 10 seconds of normal time left to go. Mayo need to find a goal from somewhere. Ball being run. No, they're not even going to get that. They're not going to get it. The referee plays no additional time whatsoever. 29 minutes and 59 seconds on the clock when she blows the final whistle. And Cavan have done it. Cavan have won the Tesco All-Ireland Minor C Camogie Championship. Those 2 goals from Aoife Connaughty will go down as the crucial scores in the game. You'd have to say that Connaughty, both of them, real poachers finishes. One swept across the line when there was a loose breaking ball towards the end of the first half. Then midway through the second half, she got up, she got her hurl on that high ball and forced it over the end line, and that made all the difference. Mayo had so much possession in that second half. They were winning the breaking balls, they were winning the puck outs around midfield, but they just struggled when it came to converting the scores on the board. You'd have to say that they just didn't quite manage to carve out the real good goal-scoring chances. And that really was what made all the difference. They had a breaking ball at one stage that didn't go their way. But you wouldn't say at any stage that Alana Clark was hugely tested in the Cavan goal. And I'm going to say a huge part of that was down to Emma Mulvaney, who was fantastic at full back. I'd say Emma Mulvaney at full back. All too often you find the top scorers get this, but I'm happy to give it to the Castletown player here in this instance, because she had a really, really strong performance at full back. And in a game where it finished 7 scores on one side, 8 scores on the other side, you'd have to say defence has been on top, made all the difference. This is just a momentous afternoon for Cavan Camogie. The county suffered a huge setback last weekend. They had a couple of significant injuries in the team when they went into their All-Ireland Junior quarter-final against Roscommon, but even still they would have been hotly fancied for that encounter, having won the league game between the two counties so comprehensively. But in this instance, bad day for Cavan last weekend, momentous day for Cavan this weekend. They are Tesco All-Ireland Minor C Camogie champions on a scoreline of 2 goals and 5 points to Cavan, 8 points to Mayo. So we prepare for the preparation here now. Cavan bringing up joint captains Hannah Fitzsimons and Aisling Sexton, alongside player of the match Emma Mulvaney, to collect the Tesco All-Ireland Minor C Camogie Championship trophy after what was a really enjoyable, breathtaking game, you'd have to say, over the course of a thrilling hour here at Marcieviz Park in Sligo. You could break out any one of the cliches. It's about taking your chances. It's about goals win games, whatever it is. Eva Connaughty got her name on the 2 goals. I'm going to get out of the way here now because there's people taking pictures of the victorious captain and player of the match, and the last thing they want is this commentator going in and interfering with it. But overall, you'd have to say it was about taking their chances. Cavan, in the second quarter, they came good. It was a strong performance from Mayo the whole way through the game, or the whole way through the first quarter, but Cavan dug their heels back in, and to come from 3 points down to lead by 3 at half-time was really significant. That was crucial. That gave them something to defend.
Just to say welcome to Marcieviz Park. That was an outstanding game. It was really just absolutely spectacular from the start to the very finish. Well done to both teams. I particularly want to commend our sponsors this year for the minor competition, which are Tesco's Ireland, and we're going to name the player of the match as Emma Mulvaney. I'd like to thank Orla Donnelly and all of her officials today. She did an outstanding job. It's great to see so many female officials, and we certainly need to see more of them in Camogie. So that's brilliant. I'd like to commend both Mayo and Cavan County Board for the tremendous work that they've been doing over the last couple of years. To reach a Minor C Cup All-Ireland final is no easy feat, and it doesn't start today, or it didn't start last week, or even last December. It probably started 3 or 4 years ago when you were doing under 14. So congratulations to both county boards. I know the amount of work you've put in to bring forward Camogie in both Cavan and Mayo, so well done to all of you. You thoroughly deserve today. There was 2 teams on the pitch today for the whole of this match, and I'd also like to commend Mayo. What I thought was spectacular wasn't just your performance, but I thought your dedication and your pride in that jersey. You kept that game alive to the very last minute of it. So congratulations to Mayo. You really deserve to be here today, and congratulations for the pride that you showed in that jersey. Finally, it takes great pleasure to present the Minor Under C Cup to Cavan Camogie. Congratulations.
First of all, I'd like to thank Mayo on an outstanding game. We knew what we were coming up against coming up here, and you've put it up to us till the very end, and no doubt we'll be meeting you in the future, and we can be expecting as tough a game as always. So 3 cheers for Mayo. Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! I'd like to thank the referee and all the officials for doing a great job out there. I'd like to thank Jimmy and Erica and Seamus for training us all year. I'd like to thank Donald for physio. I'd just like to thank Sligo for the Easter pitch and the referee, who's done a good job. And all the girls for coming out to training and putting in an unreal performance today. And we got the outcome.
Words there of Cavan joint captains Aisling Sexton and Hannah Fitzsimons, and of course Uachtar and Camogie Hilda Breslin. Jimmy, you had a difficult weekend last weekend in the junior championship, but fantastic day for Cavan Camogie today.
Yeah, very difficult, tough week. You know what I mean? Like it was, we were back after last Sunday. We were back on Monday evening with the minors. You know what I mean? Like it's had to dust themselves off. A few of them were involved. You know what I mean? But like it's all about the future, and the future's out there in the field there today. Like
I have to say, it was a game. For the first quarter, it didn't look like it was going your way. Mayo took an early 3-point lead, and they were probably full value for that. They were getting plenty of possession. You change a few things around, you started going a bit longer with the puck outs, and you started getting a bit more of a foothold. Second quarter, probably the winning of the game. Is that fair enough to say?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like like we knew coming in here, like the girls had, like Mayo had three top class forwards there. Number 12, 13, and 15. You know what I mean? And like straight away coming into the game, we knew we had to stop them. Like, and if we stopped them, you know what I mean? Like we would halfway there, And I thought after the first the first quarter, number 12 did a lot of damage, but then we changed Sinead Livingston back onto her, and and that stopped that bit of a issue we had. But the girls really dug in at the water break there. You know what I mean? Like the all says, right, okay, Cavan have to wake up now, and thank God you did.
Yeah, like second quarter as well. Okay. It was a strange one in the sense that it was just 2-0 to Mayo in the second quarter, but you were creating goal chances and you just didn't take them in that period, and then you finally took one, and that made all the difference. So I suppose you probably were happy enough in the sense that you were creating the goal chances and not giving them up at the other end.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like we've like from conceding goals, like with Liana there in or Alana in the goals. Like she's still under 16, and she's a phenomenal goalkeeper. She's the one there for the future. But we know that, we knew we had, especially then with Emma there. Emma Mulvaney, the player of the match. You knew any high ball coming in there. Like in Camogie, sometimes you'd be cringing, thinking, oh no, it's going to drop here, but you knew the house was safe. So once you have that trust and that back in your duo there, your goalie and your full back and the two cornerbacks and everybody else, you knew that when we got our goal chances, we had to take them, and in fairness, we dropped a few short, you know what I mean, which is a pet peeve of mine, but we got around a break and two, and and it was goals wins games,
It has to be said, there wasn't a huge amount of crossover between this and the junior panel. I think Mayo actually, they have a lot more. 3 of those Mayo players will be involved again tomorrow afternoon. But at the same time, you'd have to say, looking at what I saw out there today, there's several of them will be ready to make the step up very soon, I'd say.
But that's what it's about, you know what I mean? Like the minor, it is there's a good few of them that are overage now for next year. So all they have is the junior premier, and there is definitely a few there that would slot in no problem, you know what I mean? Like a few of them we looked to come in at the beginning of this year into the junior setup, and they're just cutting with different commitments and leaving cert and everything, you know what I mean? But I've no doubt, the last 2 years have been unbelievable for me personally, involved. It was a pleasure or a privilege to be asked to come on board as the manager when they were getting things back together after being out of it for so long, you know what I mean? And then with the junior premier, being bet last year in the final, and winning the Nancy Murray, and this year winning the National League Ulster minor champions, and now All Ireland minor champions, you know what I mean? It's been a phenomenal period, you know what I mean, for Cavan Camogie, and I just hope that whoever or whatever's involved in the next 12 months, you know what I mean, they get it back in, and they really push on, because there is definitely more medals there to be won.
It has to be said too, there's a great broad base to Cavan Camogie at the moment. I was talking to you during the week, and you were referring to how there's, up to around 10 active clubs in the county, which is a very solid base on which to build a future, because it all starts from that, getting players, picking up hurls, getting them playing the game all across the county. So in that, and now you begin to see the fruits of that, because there's a lot of different clubs represented here today. A lot of clubs have enjoyed success. So, whether it's yourself or whoever, there is the foundations there for Cavan to come on a long way.
Oh, definitely. You know what I mean? It is, there's definitely something there for them, with the work that's been put into the clubs. And and the best part of it is that it's not only the 1 or 2 or 3 clubs, in some counties you have your stronghold, but there is a wide range there, and any of them girls out there, you know what I mean, will be, will walk onto any team in the county senior championship, which is starting in a couple of weeks, like, you know what I mean, for them. So like it is, like, at the end of the day, in Cavan, you know, like, they'll always going to play second and third fiddle to the big ball, like, you know what I mean, like, and that's just the way it is. And like, unfortunately, if they get more backing from the LGFA, you know what I mean, and they actually work together rather than working against each other, like, you know what I mean, they will definitely strive, like, you know what I mean, because they, like, every one of them out there, I'd say, I could nearly put my house on it that there is 100% of that panel are dual players. Like, you know what I mean, like, so, like, at the end of the day, like, if the two organisations don't work together, you know what I mean, like, unfortunately, it's the Camogie that suffers, like.
Yeah, but right now today, fantastic good day for the team in question. And it's nice to have that little bit of encouragement above all, because I'd say 2020 was incredibly difficult. Girls not on the field of play, couldn't do anything with them. Obviously, you're trying to work with young players. Every year development lost is a hammer blow. I know it's the same all across the country, but the enthusiasm will be right back where you want it after a day like this.
Oh, definitely, and that's the way it's, like, we, like, in Cavan, like that's what we want to do, like, you know, it's all about progression, like, you know what I mean, like, and like with today's win, like, that's only going to drive on, like, that's only going to drive on the under 16s, the under 15, the under 14 panels to say, right, okay, like, we can win, like, you know what I mean, like, and it's all about belief, like, you know what I mean, and like, when you get a bit of belief, a bit of hunger, you know what I mean, and you get the right system in place, you know what I mean, like, this is not the end of them girls, and I can promise you that much.
Great stuff. Thanks for your time, Jimmy, and congratulations.
Thanks a million. Thank you.
So that's all she wrote here from Marcieviz Park in Sligo. It's been a really, really enjoyable afternoon's play and a fantastic camogie match that will live long in the memory. Goals win games is the cliche, and that was the case here. Eva Connaughty won at the end of the first half, another one midway through the second. Cavan had other chances the whole way through the game, so they probably felt that they were doing better at carving out those opportunities. Emma Mulvaney, very, very strong, close to goals for Cavan. She managed to protect the Cavan goal and make sure that Mayo didn't have the same opportunities. Mayo could have done it with points only, a fair amount of wides. 12 wides is a good bit over the course of the game, but overall you'd have to say Cavan showed that little bit more of a clinical instinct, came back really, really well from a slow start, got into the game. Second quarter gave them the platform, and now for the first time ever they are Tesco All-Ireland Minor C Camogie champions. Really enjoyable afternoon in the bright sunshine here in Sligo. Thanks for being with us. Thanks to everyone in Entry and to Luke and Owen for working with me here this afternoon. And most of all, thanks to you for being with us. Loads more fantastic games over the course of the weekend. Obviously, the senior semi-finals will take top billing, but there's several more fantastic camogie matches coming up, and I really hope you enjoy them. All the best.